deletes us. If we don't go live on time, Facebook's like, I'm deleting. Okay, so teacher, how do I floss?
Okay. So arms out to one side.
Whoa.
Okay.
Why isn't it going through the thing?
You're live. All right, how do I floss?
Hips through, and then back, and then around to the other side in front of you. Hips through.
All right, how do I
floss? Hips through.
So is it a bit?
And then back.
Is it just
and then around to the other side in front of you? Hips through.
All right, how do I
hips through.
So is it a bit?
And then back.
Is it just?
And then around to the other side in front of you.
Oh my God, I'm getting
Make
sure
audio. Live.
So is it a and then back.
There we go. I was watching us okay. So is it an optical illusion then? It like looks more complicated, but it's not?
Yes. It's extremely easy.
I can't do it.
That's all it is.
Okay.
Arms out.
Okay.
Hips.
Back. And then what happens to your arms now?
Then back out in front.
Okay.
And then you just shift to the other side and do the exact same thing.
What the heck did I walk into you guys doing?
We're flossing. I have to teach Brad how to floss.
Can you teach Jonah how to floss better after that GIF that was posted?
Yes, I can, and I will teach Jonah how to floss better.
Why do the kids look like it's so seamless though? Like
Mallorie!
Mallorie, hi, I love you.
I love you guys. I'm so happy to see y'all's faces.
Oh, I guess
I put cute animated hair buns in, but you can't really see them because
this doesn't look as cool as like when kids do it.
No, it's because you got to do it fast.
Oh, that's cheating. So they just speed it up, and then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I got it.
You're doing it.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the Henski Event on ColorworldLIVE. Man, ladies, thank you. It was baptism by fire today. Maddie, that was crazy. Mallorie, thank you very much. Brittany, I know you hate Google now, so that was some crazy shuffles that happened. Kristen will be joining us. She is making sure that her blood sugar is appropriate because if ever something tech-wise goes wrong, if one tech thing goes wrong, we're like, if two tech things go wrong, then it's like
tech things and a fan and then two
fans.
We
did lose. We did lose a couple fans. We lost 2 fans.
And that technical.
We did. This morning, Christina Kelly joined us as well for her hangouts that she had scheduled for today. We lost Christina Kelly. It was God. I know, right? And then she was like, "Ooh, that's in my calendar because I'm looking at it." So today was a fun day. How has everybody's week been?
Good. Stressful.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a very stressful week. I saw Maddie. She was like 8 feet away from me, but she was there.
Yeah. We got to stand 8 feet apart in real life and wear masks and look at each other.
Wow.
Where is that?
She picked up something that I had for her from my house, and she asked Matt and I to hug each other.
Yeah.
For her.
Like, those are from me.
That's awesome.
I miss that.
Like
Do
people.
you like the shirt? Did you try on the shirt, Maddie?
No, I haven't yet. I need to.
I gave Maddie a shirt. It said "salty bitch" or something.
Oh yes. Is it the tea turtle one with the mermaid on the rock?
No, it was from Unique Vintage, and it has that like girl from the like Salt, the Salt girl on.
The Salt girl, the Morton Salt girl.
The Morton
Is there
Salt.
like a salt girl?
No. It's like the Morton Salt girl.
Bay.
That's Salt Bay, yeah.
Like
different meme.
This is like the actual
like,
girl with the umbrella on like all the salt containers.
Yeah, you know, like when you buy salt.
Yeah.
Yes.
The chick on the salt.
It's like actually that.
And it just says "Don't be a salty bitch," or it just says "salty bitch."
I don't remember which one it said.
Oh, okay.
I can go I'll go get it.
Yeah, that'd be
I can
awesome.
show the world.
I'm showing the world I wanted something that was less cute and more just only positive and no cute. Cute's not super my thing, so we came up with this like Ben 10 mashup, and then Kristen was like, "Yeah, I'm not feeling that." And I was like, "Oh, sad," but I already paid my crush, so I'm gonna own it. At a minimum, I'm gonna own it. So this is the one and only one of these that exists. I'm still gonna figure out this. I think it's
Ben,
there.
I like it. That's funny.
Thank you, right? And I canceled Ben 10 so like instantly because it came from, I was trying to get Alicia to be like, she kept saying Christian. And I was like, okay, don't.
There it is. Don't be a salty bitch.
Oh man, that's cool. Oh, see, that's
I love that. That is great.
so clever. Oh, I'm
Brittany knows
sorry.
what I need.
I
What?
just thought of that. Okay, so this Henski is crazy. Brittany, welcome. You directed it, and I'm super, super pumped. This panel, Mallorie already knows this. This panel was like destined in the stars because we had Mallorie on. It's the first time I ever met her in my life, and all day fans were like, "But Henski, but Henski, but Henski," and I was like, "What is this anime I've never heard of that everybody knows Mallorie from?" And then we started talking about it online. And then I started seeing like Brittany started liking tweets, and I was like, okay, what is happening here? So
What
yeah,
is Henski, truly?
yeah. Oh, it was yes, because it's like a mystery. We like left. I don't even like that's just any way I say that's gonna go wrong. But it was destined to happen from the beginning. Okay, so Brittany, how long did you have Henski in your hands before you knew what you had? Was it one of those where there was like a meeting and you're like, I'll take that? Like, tell me how you ended up as the director for Henski.
They emailed me and offered me a show, and I was like, yeah, I'll take the boob show. I'll take one for the team. And I had like a few weeks before the show aired, but knowing I was going to have that show.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And I read whatever was out of the manga online illegally because no one licensed it, and it had a really bad translation, I'll tell you that. They put a lot of cursing and memes in this manga translation because it wasn't legal. It was like a fan who translated.
And we didn't put any memes in our dub. We did zero memes. No. This is a no meme zone.
Yeah. And then they asked Matt to write the first 2 episodes, so that was convenient. And I knew who I wanted for the show after I read through it. And I came up with my cast and I submitted it to the producers at Funimation for them to review and decide if it was an acceptable cast.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, this works. This could work. And I texted Maddie. I remember this specifically because we talked about it and you posted about it.
I've tweeted about this.
Hey, I got a show. Will you be in it? And before I could send her the picture of Yuika stuffing her underwear in Keiki's mouth, she said yes. And then she was just like, well, I already said yes. So.
Yep. That's how that went.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, Brittany texted me and she was like, hey, I have the titty show. Would you be in it for me? And I was like, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I'll take that bullet for you. Absolutely. And then she sent me a picture of the manga page and I went, oh no.
Balls.
Mm-hmm. Balls.
And I was assisting Cliff on a few shows that season. And I think I was getting out of my last session of something with him. And I was like, so do you want to be my harem lead? And he was like, okay. And I was like, easy. Great. I don't even know if I asked you, Mallorie. I feel like I did. No, we did. Were we at Korean barbecue or something? And I was like, how'd you feel?
Yes, I remember. There was one point earlier where you had told me about the show, and I was getting ready to go and cast off on a cruise with my family. And so I was just Googling all about it, and I found the trailer for it and everything. And I was like, okay, will there be boobs or no boobs? Was kind of I don't know. We'll see. And I was like, well, you know what? It's Brittany, so I'm in on this. We had
gone to work together on Senran Kagura, and that was our first time really getting to work together.
Yes.
And I have had a lot of fun working with you, and I was like, man, I gotta get Mallorie in this. This will be fun.
So much fun.
And yeah, I knew I wanted Jordan Cruz because he's not used a lot, and I feel like Shoma is such a bro, and like Jordan's a bro.
He
just,
does
like,
bro so
it was
good.
just like a perfect vibe. And then like I've worked with Emmy Lowe plenty of times when I was living in New York. She was going by the name Cheryl Lee for anime at that time. She was still in school. And so I was like, oh well, I have like free reign on this show and there's all girls. I want to bring Emmy in. I wanted to bring Kate Bristol in. So I tried to like, you know, there's people who I hadn't gotten to work with. Kristen, for example, on like a sizable part, like outside from like assisting on stuff. And like I wanted to work with her, and Mao being an artist, it was just perfect. Yeah. So I like kind of like knew some people I wanted to work with, and it was funny because not too long ago, I like before I got Henski, I remember talking to Clifford Chapin because we both were working on Slime. I was assisting him, and I didn't work with Kristen at all because her character showed up when I was like working on a different show. But I remember telling him, like, man, I haven't gotten to use Kristen in any of my own work. Like, I hope I get that chance. And like 4 weeks later, it's like, here's this. So that all worked out. So yeah, I like had people I wanted to work with, and I was like, oh, these characters would be perfect for them. And there it was. That was how the cast of Henski happened.
Oh man, that's
great. And the producers were like, this is good. And like I wasn't sure because like when you work with someone like Cliff, to be in Henski, he had to go from like his 10 to 6 job as a director and then stay 6 to 10 to work with me. And Keiki consistently had 9 to like 12 hours a week.
Yeah.
So for him to have committed like 2 days a week to staying at the studio 10 to 10 was a lot. So like you had to kind of like run that by the other people in power and be like, are you okay with your full-time worker staying until 10 to get this show done? And I remember my producer Sam Samantha was like looking at it, and she was like, I like this. I want to hear Cliff not be Bakugo and instead be a harem show. So that was funny to me.
I love that that's his motivation. Like I need him as something other than Lord Explosion Murder. Yes.
Yeah, like my producer said that, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad you two would like to see that.
Yeah.
Another funny story about that was like and then I'll stop talking, I promise. Episode 3, I had to go to a convention, and so I couldn't do the mix review. So one of my producers had to do the mix review.
I remember you telling me about this.
In this episode, Cliff says cooter. And
that was the note?
Like, no, I just like in this episode, we had Cliff say to Maddie's character, how is that any worse than airing out your cooter? And I was like, I wonder how this is going to play. Like, I wonder how they're going to feel watching this, because I don't know if they've watched any of Henski yet. And like, Cliff is really funny. Maddie's really funny. Mallorie's really funny. They all have these really silly zingers throughout.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you have fun. Let me know what you think. And like, I remember getting back in, and he was like, no notes. It was great. I was like, how'd you feel about hearing Cliff say cooter in your ear? And he's like, don't ever need to hear that again, which is pretty much Maddie's feedback every single time.
That was my least favorite part of the show. I think the first time that I heard that, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a bomb. And I stopped talking. You know, we were doing like 3-4 cues at a time. I had to hear Cliff say cooter in my earphones. And I thought it was a goof. And Brittany's like, no, that's real.
Well, that's in there.
Kristen here.
Kristen! I love you.
I love you.
We were just talking about Cliff saying the word cooter in the dub.
Oh, you know, my AC is broken, and like I was gonna call maintenance, but then I was like, knowing my luck, they would like show up right. I was just like, and then we were like, cooter, shoot her in the cooter, and I'd be like, oh hey. So I decided not to do it.
So you're instead enduring the heat for us all.
I am enduring the heat for not just me, but the innocence of my maintenance man.
Oh man.
He's probably heard worse.
That's true.
But I'm all sweaty.
Maybe not out of you, but you know.
You're glowing.
That's glowing so hard right now.
Everybody's lighting is so nice, and mine is such trash. I had like a little ring light, but it's not doing its thing.
I have a ring light. You can see it in the reflection of my glasses.
Oh, the little.
Yeah. It's shaped like a ring. It's in your glasses.
I have my overhead light on, which is probably only adding to my dilemma of how hot it is. But if I turn it off, it's dark. So
Now it's all spooky in here.
woo!
Ooh, pity.
Sorry to say, I was eating cheese.
That's the only excuse that exists.
Yeah, really. You couldn't come up with a better one.
As late as you want, as long as you're eating cheese.
I was
No
eating
complaint.
cheese and crackers. It was really good. It was mint.
All right, what is everyone's favorite line? Either from the anime in general or that you said. Brittany, you get to choose anybody's favorite line because all the lines belong to you as the director. What's your favorite line, Madeline?
God, well, it was a joke that somebody made during a session once, and so I can't. It's not a real line.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it out loud. Skip me. Come back to me.
Brittany, what was your favorite line?
Delivered by Jordan Dash Cruz in the final episode of Henski. If she ain't blood, be a stud.
I remember that. I was gonna say that. Now I have to come up with a new one.
All right, Kristen needs time. Mallory, what about you?
Well, you know on Twitter that I have been compiling a list of my favorite lines. So can I choose one that I said and then one that I didn't say?
Yeah. Oh yes.
All right, my favorite line.
A legal notepad.
I know, yeah. Here's my notes. Let me just put okay, my favorite line is when Sayuki says, "Not today, Satan," to Yuika.
That is cool.
My favorite part of that was that was something our engineer, Alyssa, who's freaking awesome. We love Alyssa. Who she would say as a joke, and then we needed three words for 3 flaps, and she looks at me and goes, "Not today, Satan."
It's so perfect. It's so perfect. I love that one. And then my favorite kind of like ongoing trope throughout is the generic male protagonist that they keep calling Keiki. I think that is the best, like, terrible insult to give someone. You're just a generic male protagonist.
I don't think mine's like really a specific line, but a moment. If I can't use Brittany's, I really like the scene where she goes, "I'm not a bad dog," and he goes, "Or a dog, period." And just the way it's delivered is just like, "Or a dog, period." Like I love sarcasm in anime because I feel like we so rarely get to use it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it in Henski. Like, "Oh, I am tied up." Like,
Yes.
so.
Love it.
Commando. I liked Commando.
Didn't Keiki at one point, when he was getting the handcuff key out of Sayuki, refer to them as her storage knockers?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That was a Clifford and Brittany looking at the script, and it said storage lockers, and we both said at the same time, storage knockers.
This is a hard question because I didn't do my homework and rewatch the show, which I could have done before we started. So everything that I remember, I'm like, was that real?
You're like, is that just us, or did that get made into the anime?
Henski is one of those shows, like I saw recently that someone made like a video and they're like, Henski has a dub and it's just like a compilation of stuff. And like, I definitely had moments where I'm like, we did say that. We did get paid to say those things.
Oh man, I'm gonna drop that in the chat. That somebody mentioned that in one of the hangouts that there was a compilation on YouTube compiled. And
I think there are 2.
I think there
Part
were
one and part
compilations of just stuff Cliff said.
Yeah, there's just a Clifford one, like a Clifford Chapin one. And then there's also like the Henski has a dub. Like someone took the time to make this, and I appreciate that.
I saw some YouTube comment that was like,
The Henski has a
this
dub one
guy
might have
sounds
been
like
taken
Bakugan.
down. I think the Henski as a dub one got removed.
Aww.
Oh, man.
Are any? Let's see, 4 minutes.
No, I
They're
don't
all
think
pretty
any of them are
long. I'm going with
them.
2.
Is Henski good? Where,
Yes.
No.
what
I
is
think
the?
the one we're thinking of got removed. 'Cause I
Did it
don't think I
really?
said it. Yeah.
Oh wait.
Goodness.
What?
Look up. There's a funny moments Henski English dub.
Okay.
This one is number 2, but I can't find number 1.
Okay. Henski funny moments. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Oh.
What? Did you see it?
I found another one. Another
There's
one.
so much. Thanks, internet.
All right. I'm gonna.
Instead of Cliff Chapin.
You said that, Cody.
All right. I'm gonna drop this. Oh, there's 9 minutes. 9 minutes. That's awesome. You know it's good when there's 9 minutes and it's the second video. So I'm
Part
gonna.
1.
I'm gonna drop that in chat. So
In our broadcast chat over here.
But yeah, in
Parts
the
1 and 2.
comments for all the fans, so that way when everybody goes back and rewatch it, they can like bookmark that or open it on another tab.
That would make
We have
more sense.
Youngie in chat.
There's Youngie.
Yay!
Hi, Youngie. Can I just say, I think the writing on this show is incredible, and it really did make it what it was. Like, so funny. So
And
funny.
How did that transition from, because it was hilarious, on Twitter earlier, saw like a little notification pop up that he had retweeted that, like he's like, hey everybody, I worked on this thing, go see everybody, they're on Color World Live today. And I was like, what? So what, how did, like you said, Matt had 2 episodes and then it went over to, like, how did that happen?
It's just how contract writing works at Funimation, is that like things get passed around sometimes and they'll be like, oh well, this, and then plans change and whoever was originally assigned can't work on it anymore and it gets put to someone else. So like,
Yeah, if we, because I've definitely been on projects before, like where I started a show, but then a show I wrote previously got like a movie, and they're like, all right, well now we need you to write this movie because you know what's happening. So then like whatever show I was just writing will be contracted out for a few weeks. So
And
that's
I've
what
taken over
happens
some of
with
Kristen's
shows.
scripts before.
Yeah, Maddie has been a victim of my schedule many times.
Matt had written Sunohara that season too, so it was like, oh well, he wrote the first 2, but then they had him on a different project, and they had a new writer do 2 or 3 episodes, and then they had sent Youngie a bunch of episodes. So I forget what episode Youngie took over on. I want to say maybe 5. And then he was the most consistent writer throughout.
Okay.
Like, there was like a few episodes written by someone named Dakota and a few episodes written by Matt.
And props to Youngie for having to come into that in the middle.
In the middle of that mess. Yeah.
And that was who was like super supportive and like announced that everybody is going to be on today. I thought that was super cool. I was kind of like secretly hoping something would show up in DMs or emails, and then I would just like slip a link and then just appear like on the panel with everybody. I know it was like super last minute, but that was way cool that they were being as supportive. So when writing gets handed off like that, is it like just like run through the halls of Funimation? You're like, hey, like, it's yours now, or is it like?
If I'm lucky, whoever's taking the contract job will reach out to me and be like, hey, so now I'm writing Neko Para. What do I need to know? And then I'll be like, I'm sorry. Or sometimes like I'll supervise. Like I supervised Maddie's scripts on Neko Para. So like she wrote them, but because I'd written the previous episodes, I would go through and like keep things consistent. Like, oh, well, we don't use this thing, or this isn't really how this character talks, or things like that.
This term is different, or we've kind of established this voice for a character.
Okay.
Which is super helpful. You know, if you're like, even if you have watched, you know, if I'm writing episode 6 and I watched 5 episodes, I'm still not going to have the institutional knowledge that the person who wrote 5 episodes is going to have about the show and the characters and things.
A good example in Neko Para is in the J. Cinnamon says she's moist a lot, and we went with what's in the game, which is wet. So I had to be like, hey, don't write moist, which is not something I ever thought I would have to text anybody, but here we are.
Oh man, there's a dude who had like a video that's like my life as a voice actor, and like the opening of that is like just him saying moist like 6 or 7 times over and over again. So that word carries so much weight to it.
It does.
It's on my list of things to almost never say. Like,
I'm not a fan of that word. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
I don't think it's the worst sounding word of all time. It's
What?
definitely
Never be used to describe cake.
here's the thing. Moist can be redeeming because you want a moist cake. You never want anything that's soggy.
that's true. You don't want
And you rarely, I think, want anything damp.
Maddie,
Oh no.
moist snacks.
Moist snacks.
Damp was actually in the first episode of Neko Para's Trans. They went with damp, and I was like, I've never heard that used in a sexual nature.
Nor should it be.
And,
There it goes.
so I was like, I don't know. I should talk to Nate about this.
Yay!
Yay!
So
Anyway, back to not Neko Para. Back to cultural anime.
what is the worst word? Because you said that's not even the worst. Like, what is the worst?
I am not going to say it because I don't want a whole bunch of people to tweet it to me.
Okay. At some point on some platform, you have to tell some of us at least, because there's so much onomatopoeia with moist that it's like it just can be avoided in almost every situation ever.
Maddie, text it to me.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I want to know too.
Oh wait, I can put it in the private chat. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah.
you guys have to say it on stream.
That way we could all look at the same time and be like, oh.
We're gonna know, but no one's allowed to say. That's how.
No one's allowed to say,
I will come after you.
oh, coming
Oh,
up
it's
very soon.
Cooter. Of course, it's Cooter.
Is there like a time period at which the NDA just expires? Like in 6 months?
No, we're all sworn to secrecy.
For life.
It's like I always
Okay.
want to talk about like a TV show that I'm watching, but the TV show ended 10 years ago, and everybody famously hates the ending or whatever. So I'm like, I'm not gonna say that I'm still watching it because somebody's gonna spoil it for me.
Okay.
And like,
Is it lost?
We just we'll have this memory forever. And we'll die with it.
Yes.
We'll die with it. In this moment, only the 5 of us know this word.
Who do you ship Keiki with, Madeline, in Henski? Who do you ship him with? That's a serious look on your face.
She's really thinking of it.
Jordan, but in real life. Keiki, the fictional character, was Jordan Cruz in real life.
In real life? Oh man. But you're shipping them together?
Huh?
It's like imagining Jordan with a cakey body pillow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Like,
no,
Jordan
that.
would have a Shoma body pillow.
I mean, well, yeah, of course he would.
Brittany, who do you ship him with?
I don't know. I feel like Keiki deserves better than all those girls. Yeah.
They're all
I mean,
awesome.
like, it's like some of the stuff they do to him is like borderline a sexual assault.
Or in Yuika's case, straight up sexual
Straight
assault. There's no gray area there. She's awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd like to just see him go into like witness protection and find a new life.
I really like Sayaka. I think
Saiki?
she there's so genuine moments between the two of them that I almost cried in like episode 9 when the episode starts with what I think is the greatest thing ever, and then he wakes up and I was like, what did you just do to me? Like, that's not a dream. That's how the anime is supposed to end. So you're saying, like, at no point, Brittany, did you see that as...
No, I mean, because I feel like there was a lot of times where, and Cliff and I talked about this too, that like Keiki was straight up mean to Sayuki on multiple occasions.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So like I don't know. I don't feel strong about that ship. No.
This is definitely not a romance anime.
Yeah.
All right, Mallory. I know because you in several of your hangouts, that whole like everybody. I felt like this morning was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, I'm biased, but if I had to choose one of the girls for Keiki to be with, it would be my girl Sayuki. I feel like their relationship progressed over the series. You started to see some very genuine moments. I believe that in a parallel universe, that dream is real. I think that it could be happening. It could be married, having some kids, having some
Dog
kinky
play.
relationship.
Having some puppies.
Yeah, I feel like out of all the girls, they probably had, the most genuine relationship. So, I mean, I'm biased. I realize this, but that's what I'm thinking.
What do you think, Kristen?
Only disagree with Mallory. And I think Mal's a really good fit for Keiki. They're longtime friends. I think Mal genuinely cares for him. He keeps hiding behind her love for Yowie. And if she ever becomes strong enough not to hide behind it anymore, I think she would actually be an almost normal fit.
Almost normal. That's a really low bar to clear.
Exactly. I mean, I think they're legitimately like a relationship, like a couple, and I wish Mal had gotten past that. Like, I want to be with you, but I can't tell you that. So I'm just going to comics about you. Get naked. But yeah. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And the fetish is the least weird of them all. So there's.
I was really shocked for an anime in which in the first episode he says, "Oh, I wish I had a girlfriend," and then I spend the entire rest of the series going like, "Dude, you can have lots of girlfriends." Like, I was like, "What am I missing? What am I? Did you ever talk about that, Brittany, between you and Cliff? Like, he seems to have what he wants. Like, what is it that's like? Why does he keep saying, "I wish I had a girlfriend. I wish I had a girlfriend," and they're kind of lining up to be with him?
I feel like going back to me being like, most of these girls are just sexually assaulting him. Like that's kind of what we talked about. It's like, poor Keiki, like, there's no love here. They only want him to be the like kink booty call. So I think it was episode 3 where he screams that Sayuki wears the love and holds it out for a really long time. I think that's the answer for that.
Yeah.
None of the girls are actually interested in him. They're just like, he's a plain guy that could agree to a nice bet.
If you've ever read like a self-insert fan fiction,
Okay.
it's Keiki's that character. Keiki is the bland reader character onto which the world can project themselves.
So he's just not interesting enough that they keep painting like over top of him what they want.
I don't think I don't think the problem is that he's not interesting enough. I think that's how he is being perceived, and that hurts me for him.
Aww.
He deserves better.
Male protagonist.
Exactly.
Say that. Okay. Somehow I'm missing Kristen's audio. Say that.
Yeah,
Again.
I can't really hear Kristen very well.
Let me see if I can. I'm gonna pull off stream, Kristen, and then put you back on to see if I can get. Let me see if we can get. All right. What about now? Oh yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Remember that?
You can all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, that was weird. I was just about to be like, let me go get a microphone that I have in my closet.
Such a voice actor.
Okay. Now, what did you say before, Kristen, that I missed?
I said that you could say is a generic male protagonist.
Generic male protagonist.
He does get accused of that.
Yep.
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
Insult. It's a good insult.
I really liked the library. That was such a a favorite moment for me. There's just I guess Brittany, in retrospect, I see what you're saying. There just seemed to be so much discussion that the idea of lack of consent didn't occur to me because they're like being open, they're being upfront, like nothing. They're not doing anything behind his back. They're like literally going at him and saying, "This is what I would like from you," and he keeps taking them out on a date. So I'm like, at what point, right? Like, at what point should I be concerned about this guy who keeps taking these girls out?
I think he just feels pressured.
Yeah.
And going on a date does not automatically okay
It's true.
anything outside of the parameters of the date.
For sure. But isn't there a moment in which he's like, lift up your skirt, and like he's the one saying, right?
He
Yeah.
did try. He did try it.
But
And-
that was because he wanted to know if she was the one who was
Sure.
Undierella.
Sure. So
Yeah.
you're saying he asked to see up her skirt, but not in the way that she wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely enough mixed signals there to not get. I don't know. As a dude, if I'm asking you to lift your skirt, like my motivation is like I don't then get to assign motivation for why I asked. You know what I mean? Like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I guess.
And like, I mean, I think that's part of the thing too, is that like he wanted it to be like, I want her to be wearing the Undierella panties, so I know that she is the one. And Sayuki takes it as, oh, he's getting into my fet play, and he's asking to see under my skirt to embarrass me and humiliate me because I'm a dog.
Huh. I guess I didn't read that, and I see what you're saying. To me, in that moment, it felt so genuine. Like he wanted to see what he was looking for so badly, because to me, there felt like so many moments leading up to that where you just wanted the two of them to be what he was looking for the whole time. And I don't know about you, but I was like, please be there, please be there, please be there. It seemed like they were going to ride on the set at that point.
I just think about this series. If he would have just asked them, like in the first episode, "Hey, which one of you left your underwear here?" and then series would be over. One episode.
It's a short story.
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway is none of these people don't be like any of these people. Don't do this. Hey, any of them, don't do this.
Mm-mm.
Don't do this.
Is there? I don't know that there. I think you're right, Maddie. I don't know that there's any character that you would like look at and be like, I'll take all of that. Because even he could have just, like you said, he could have been more upfront about what his motivation was, and he was almost lying the entire time in terms of like what Brittany was talking about, where his motivation, like his motivation is this, but the girl is reading something else, and it's because he wasn't being as upfront as he could have been. Except, I feel like, isn't there like a movie theater room where they go to like conference? I feel like they go, right? And that's the most authentic of the characters that you get, is when they're, because they agree to help each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I will help you achieve your goal, and then but again, there's this agreement between the two of them, but then they agree to be disingenuous with everyone else. Like she's gonna trick him into convincing him that she's younger than she really is, and then they like hide the school uniform. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, quick question. Can you guys hear me better now that I
Yeah.
have a professional microphone in here?
That's wondrous. I think I'm getting like, if somebody's headphones aren't plugged in, or if like there's a noise gate problem, I'm getting like an echo out of somebody's speakers or something, is what it sounds like.
Maybe that might be like me again. God, I'm the worst. Now that I have headphones, or now that I have a microphone.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
No, come back. I ran her off.
There we go. Awesome.
Of everybody in this show, Koharu is the closest to a decent human being.
Yeah.
I love Koharu.
Yeah?
She's great.
What-
Yeah.
What makes you like her so much?
I think Kate is really, really funny.
Kate's hilarious.
And like I just think that Koharu is both like a bro but also a gremlin, and it's just really good energy. I like her and Keiki just like breaking the fourth wall and being like, "Don't get into underage girls, that's bad." And
Yeah.
like that was funny. And like there was one joke that Kate made that like fit better than the line, and so we went with that, and it was like her like sitting with Keiki and talking about the photo she took of him reaching into Sayuki's boobs, and it was just like, I'd say you were more about elbow deep, but and, like, I thought that was really funny, and so we kept that in the show. But yeah,
Kate's hilarious.
yeah, I just like when she's like she's all cute and high pitched, but then she like gets like gremlin-y and
Oh,
funny.
yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I would ship Keiki with Koharu because they're the only two people who are genuinely honest with each other the entire way through the series.
Yeah,
But she likes Shoma.
she does.
She stalked Shoma.
Hey. Canon has never stopped me from shipping something
Oh.
else.
I'm sure the fandom appreciates that for sure.
But she's weird too. Like she's like a
I mean,
stalker.
she's a freak.
For
She's
sure.
definitely weird, but she was at least honest with Keiki.
Yeah, that makes it okay.
Oh, well,
Sure, Mr. Shoma.
yeah, it depends on what you mean with, like, she's okay with him because they're being honest. She's not okay as soon as you look at what she's doing with the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships.
I think it's helpful to see those things side by side. Like, what's interesting about the anime is that it shows us like the absolute thing. Like, these should super be avoided. Like, these things over here that we right, but then at the same time you see like the vulnerability. Like, again, I know I'm biased too, Mallory. I don't know how to help it, but
She's so cute.
there's that moment under the bridge where he's like, "I found out your secret," and she's like, she's so thankful that she like be herself to somebody. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I've been hiding this thing, and I thought people would think I'm a trash human, and so here's this guy, and he's like telling, and it wasn't in like it wasn't acute because he's like I don't know what to do with this because he thinks that the secret is one thing,
Yeah.
and he's like, I can't put all my cards on the table, but she just reacted so genuinely
Yeah.
to, yeah. So I don't know. I feel like me and Mallory are just gonna have to. I'm gonna stay on this page. I know, but she just seems so. I get what she's asking him, but again, for me, I like honesty a ton, and I never feel like she pulls any punches with him. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? He always
No.
has the option. Go ahead.
But Keiki's also not being honest with her, and I think that's a shitty relationship.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But I think Sayuki is best girl under the circumstances, but it's that ain't the ship. That ain't the ship.
She needs a different man. She needs a different man.
Yes.
There was a poll that Funimation, or not a poll, a quiz that Funimation put out.
Oh, I took it.
Like, which are you S, M, or like neither? I guess. And it was like either if you're S, you're Yuika. If you're M, you're Sayuki, and if you're neither, you're Keiki. And I took it and I got Yuika. Cliff took it and he got Keiki. And I don't remember what you got, Mallory, but I feel like you got
Sayuki.
I think
And-
I also got Sayuki.
Yeah.
I think I got Keiki.
Yeah.
I don't remember now.
I
I'm gonna
know
see if I can
Alyssa
find
got
that.
Keiki because I remember her being like, I'm vanilla? Alyssa was great. We loved our engineer.
I'm really sad there wasn't a Mao option. But
Oh,
whatever. That's cool.
Yeah, that's not fair. Oh, I found it. I found the quiz. Hang tight. Oh no, they took it down.
Ivan gets it. Thanks,
Oh,
Ivan.
man. URL not found.
Man,
That's a bummer.
so sad.
Now no one will know if they're vanilla or not.
Yeah, man.
How else am I going to figure it out if not an internet quiz by Funimation?
Exactly. The ultimate authority.
Everything
Quizilla-
else about your life
Quizilla.
is a lie.
Does Quizilla still exist?
Can I mention something though? Because I have been playing Borderlands 3, the new DLC, and I've been rewatching Henski, and there's a common thread here, and that is Madeline Morris. You listen to Madeline in Borderlands 3, and it is like this deep, husky voice. And then you listen to you
Oh,
and
Hannah.
it's like, is that the same person? That's incredible. Like stellar voice acting. Awesome job.
Thank you. I made a moment on Twitter that had 2 tweets with Juno and Yuika, like one right after the other. And I'm never ever gonna get used to seeing them in the same place.
Complete opposites.
Maddie Morris stands. Raise your hand.
Oh man, so great. Oh, there's some more love for you, Kristen.
Sometimes I just randomly text Maddie and I'm like, "Hi, I love you."
Yeah?
It'll just be like out of the blue. I'll just be like, "Hi, I love you."
I'm thinking about you. I love you.
That's awesome.
Kristen and I are gonna get married.
We are. Our boyfriends don't know it yet, but it's gonna happen.
I mean, it's 2020. I'm pretty sure there's like a 4th or 5th that's like totally available now.
I feel like Maddie was also going to get married to Caitlin Barr, though, so I'm a little concerned about.
I am, and
You know what?
Caitlin's boyfriend is cool with that.
I also love Caitlin Barr.
Oh,
She and
work
I
out.
share an office, so the more the merrier.
Get on in there.
In my opinion.
Caitlin Barr's boyfriend approached me at a Halloween party last year and said, "What are your intentions with Caitlin? Because if you're gonna leave me for you, I need to know."
I love him. He's so good.
He's awesome. He rocks. I really, really like him.
I had a similar moment when I started dating my boyfriend. A mutual friend of ours, who's a dude, was like, "What are your intentions with my bleep name redacted?" And I was like, "What? He belongs to you?" Like, now it's awkward.
Show me the contract. Show me the
I
contract.
promised to make an honest man out of him. To love and cherish him.
That is so awesome.
To
Yeah,
have him home by 10.
have him home. I think that's. Did you text Maddie before? Like, is this something is that from this year, or is that like always the thing? I feel like this year in particular, I have felt the need to be like check in on people more than I would. Right? It just.
I feel like Maddie and I started getting along most. Like when I feel like we really started talking more often was when we were cast in Magical Girl Racing Project.
Yeah.
We were both like really excited, and I like saw her name, and so I like messaged her, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to hear you as
And
fuck!"
we geeked out about it a whole bunch.
We did.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. Yeah, we didn't talk a whole lot before then.
We didn't, and then I discovered that I actually secretly love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Maddie was my first Texas friend I made.
Really?
Like, yeah, well, I mean, like, because I knew a lot of people coming to Texas. Like, so she was my first new friend I made when I moved.
When you got
Like,
there.
Yeah. Because I knew Kristen already. Mallorie, we didn't meet until like a year and a half ago or something. And like, yeah, so I had friends already when I moved, but like, she was my first new friend, and I remember we got coffee together because we bonded over me raping her in an elevator in Seven Mortal Sins.
Seven Mortal Sins. Watch that also. If you love
Isn't
Henski,
it great
you'll
how
probably like Seven
anime
Mortal
brings
Sins.
us all together?
Yeah.
Yeah, like legitimately, Kyle Collins was one of the first hangouts this morning, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna make a version of this shirt that says like, Kyle Ultimate. I feel like there's so many people. Benjamin Oscar's another one that like here he's already like there's so many people that before we started this, I didn't know. Like, Kristen, you've done a spectacular job, like, bringing this attitude of positivity to, like, Mallorie, was it you and I that's like, I feel like Kristen's like, hey, good morning, everybody. It's like,
You're always so positive on Twitter. I love seeing it. Like, I just hope you guys have a great day.
The internet's such a negative place. I just want there to be one place where it's not.
Yes.
The
You're so
negativity is
sunshiny.
reserved strictly for text messages, guys.
Yes, I have negative moments. I just don't show them publicly because like I feel like when we give negativity like attention, like
Yes.
it's so easy for negativity to double and it's so
Yes.
hard for positivity to like double. And so like even if I'm having like the worst day ever, I almost never like talk about it on Twitter because I'm like, no, I don't want people to be sad. And so,
Yeah.
and so I'm just like, instead, so actually what happens is whenever I feel really negative about something, or if like I've had like a really negative interaction, I will intentionally post something really positive to chase it away.
Aw.
And I mean,
So
then
if you
when
see, like, a
open
random-
your phone and you're looking for that like validation or that craving of attention, like the things you're seeing are positive responses to your positive thought.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think I understood.
Like if you're in a bad brain way and you post something nice and sunny and happy to, try to say this is the energy that I am claiming and that I'm going to put forth right now, the responses that you're going to get to the thing that you posted are also going to be positive.
Yes,
And,
exactly.
yeah,
And when
so-
you post negative things, then like you're kind of constantly like every time you get a notification on that thing, it's being brought back up. They're like, oh yeah, this is a negative thing that happened and this was bad.
Yeah.
And so that's why I try not to. So if you see like something positive, like just in the middle of the day, I probably had something really bad happen, and I was like, no, I post something positive to get rid of it, and now you know the secret.
That's our secret. Well, now we know to think positive things your way and send the universe. Like, I in the last day I had a conversation with somebody who's like, oh, I've been staying off the internet. It's a really negative place. And I don't know if I'm really protective of who I follow. I kind of at this point, it's so crazy over here. Like I only check notifications. It's very hard for me to have time to scroll, but the notifications have just been, this is great. And thank you for this. And like, this has been enjoyable. And thank you for that. And I don't like, that's been my experience, which I've been really grateful for, that I'm just I'm not seeing it. There's so many good things that have come from our conscious effort to bring people together that I like we're seeing the benefit of that on our end. So I appreciate. It's been really terrific. Kristen I had spoken to super briefly before the zombie apocalypse started, but Madeline and Brittany and Mallorie, like this is my ColorworldLIVE is my first introduction to meeting you as people. And I really appreciated our opportunity to like make the world of positive things like bigger and bigger. Like each week my goal is to be like, here's another awesome person to meet that will make our community even better, and then just keep like how grateful people are for a follow. I feel like if I interact with somebody enough, I'm like, I just really enjoy this. And you hit that follow button, like instantly the positivity just like, it's like you can smell it in the air. People are just so grateful to like
Positivity.
yeah.
Smells like strawberries.
Yeah.
Human interaction and like I guess just casual joy is kind of at a premium right now.
Yeah.
Maddie and I have a chat on Twitter DMs that is just for sending pictures of Kirby. I don't know at what point it became that, but it's like strictly Kirby chat. I
When
don't know why.
when the quarantine started and everything was like really sad, I would just randomly send Maddie baby elephant gifts. Just like every other day, I was like, here's your baby elephant gift from Baby Elephant Gift Emporium.
I cannot express enough how helpful that was to my heart.
Unfortunately, there's not a lot of baby elephant gifts out there, so after a while, I had to switch to like puppies. But
I subscribe to a subreddit. Baby elephant.
oh balls!
Blessed.
Oh,
Clifford
balls.
Chapin.
A wild cliff appears.
I
Also,
hope you guys enjoyed that moment. It will never happen again.
when we were talking about
He's
how much
already
we love
gone.
everybody, I wanted to point out that I've had a big ol' actor talent crush on Mallorie since we did Izetta together.
Oh my gosh, Izetta. I was just talking about that earlier today. I recommended it to someone to watch because I just think it's such a wholesome anime.
Okay, and what's the anime?
It's called Izetta the Last Witch.
Okay, I caught Witch. What was the beginning of?
Izetta. I'll put it in our...
Okay, I missed it. Okay, I'm going to pick one person. Maddie, what's the name of the...
It's Izetta the Last Witch. I put it in the private chat.
Oh, yay! Okay, then
I like that. I like that your introduction to Maddie was Izetta the Last Witch, while to Mallory. While my introduction to Mallory was Shinran Kagura Shinobi Versus.
Completely different.
Completely different, but she still rocked. But I felt like I was like, man, I've never really heard Mallory's stuff before, and I was writing it, so of course I was watching it, and then I was like, well, now I know what Mallory can do. Know these skills.
Oh my gosh, that show is interesting. Very different than Izetta.
Yeah, a little bit.
I remember I don't think they went credited, but one of the engineers I was frequently working with when I was either working with Alyssa or a different engineer, and this other engineer was like, oh no, we have both the censored and uncensored footage, and they switched it to being uncensored, and there was just like titties everywhere, like
Listen,
titties, and he was like, ah! And he like quickly,
there's a story. So
you guys
we
know what it is. There's a good Christian engineer. He was like, no.
When we wrote that, we had the censored and uncensored version, and so my supervisor Jeremy Kratz was like, all right, I'm going to supervise your script to the uncensored version. You write to the censored version. He's like, I will take this for you. And I was like, you are a good man. And so like everything I wrote was like sunbeams and fog and steam and snow and whatever else is there to hide a boob. And so, but then like I get these notes back and he's like, this is like 3 flaps short. You missed this flap here. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I was like, I know I wrote those flaps. The mouth movements on the uncensored version were completely different than the mouth movements on the censored version. So it's like we would have to write all. So it was like, this is the uncensored line, and then this is the censored line.
I can't believe I directed that show and no one told me that.
Oh, really?
Hey, Brittany, about Shinobi Versus, you should probably know this thing.
No one,
Crazy.
not once did the main director, the producer, the engineer.
Really?
No one.
Like right now, you're finding out right now.
Yes, I was never told
I'm
that.
sure Jerry figured it out on home video reviews.
Oh, poor Jerry.
There was a line.
Jerry's, that's like my thought every day.
Poor Jerry.
Jerry. Yeah.
There was a line in Seven Mortal Sins where my character's mouth was behind a censor bar. And I went, well, guess and we didn't have final video at that time. So I was like, well, I guess we're going to have to come back and do that for a pickup. And then the show came out and I went, hey, Dave, remember when we talked about this while we were recording it? How did we not have to get a pickup? And he goes, I don't know. It just fit. Whatever you did just fit.
Wow. Magic.
Magic.
That's a lot.
Now, since everybody here has been in some sort of boobalicious anime, whether that was Shinran Kagura or Seven Mortal Sins or Henski, how do you guys feel about that? Like, I mean, obviously we're all okay with it because here we are. But Jerry once asked me, I think it was Shinran Kagura, he was like, are you comfortable being in the show? And I was like, whatever, man. They're not my boobs.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always thought about it. But do you guys have any strong feelings on it?
My first show was Queen's Blade Rebellion. My character had vibrating armor on her nipples and her clit.
Where do I get a set?
And I remember going in to audition for it, and the director was setting me up on mic, and then she looks at me and goes, you are over 18, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm 20. And she was like, okay, cool. All right, that's fine. Okay, cool. And yeah, that was my first anime, and it was a trial by fire in terms of
man
stuff, because Queen's Blade was just like really well known for being a fan service anime. Like that is it is a fan service fantasy. So that was a trip, and
It's only fantasy because vibrating armor doesn't really exist.
So apparently,
about it.
yeah.
And yeah, so that was my first experience doing an anime, and then my other anime before like moving to Texas was mostly fan service too, because that's what like except for Pokemon and like Yu-Gi-Oh! Otherwise, like most of the Media Blaster stuff was all fan service. So like Ladies vs. Butlers is really fan servicey. Juden-chan was really fan servicey and also had P fetish in it.
God, anime was a mistake.
And then Rio Rainbow Gate was fan servicey. I guess World War Blue wasn't super fan service, but like had enough. So yeah, like most of the stuff I did at Media Blasters was fan service too. So I kind of just like had to accept that if I wanted work, and I was like, whatever. I get honey pop, so.
Yeah, I mean, do I love it? No, but I get the opportunity to work with awesome people when I do it, and that to me makes it worth it to be able to work with Brittany and Kristen, Maddie, and everybody. That makes the fan service parts that are so awkward and cringy totally worth it.
I told the story in one of my hangouts before we started this panel that Tara, who does all the talent coordination for Funny, emailed me and said, hey, we have this show called 7 Mortal Sins. The director wants to use you in this role, but it's a TVMA show. Here's the content. Here's this. Here's this. Are you comfortable with doing that? I said, yeah. She said, do you want to use a pseudonym? And I said, no. And then a week later, Dave Trosco, who directed it, sends me a message on Facebook and says, hey, hi, nice to meet you. Do you want to use a pseudonym? And that should have been my clue. And I was like, no, it'll be great. So I watched episode 1 before I recorded, and I went, that's not so bad. And then the day that
my first scene is literally
sucking
nips and
episode 1 for me, not bad. Episode 2 came out the day of my first session on that show, and so I watched that before I went in, and I went, oh, okay. And I went in, and Dave came and sat down next to me, and he was like, so you're ready? And I'm like, can I still use a pseudonym? And he's like, nope, that ship sailed. I'm like, okay. And
so now you know, if you're ever asked twice, the answer the second time is yes.
Yeah. But now, like, I'm in, like, I did it, and I leaned into it, and I had fun leaning into it, and I had way more fun than I would have if I had to pretend like I wasn't in it, and you know,
I'm not even other species reviewers.
You did, and I respect you for that.
Thank you.
Like, and I think it's fun. It's fun to lean into that, and there's still probably something out there that I wouldn't do, and that'll be a case by case basis. But I think I would so much rather just turn something down than use a fake name on it. For me personally.
Yeah.
When Clifford Chapin cast Keijo, he has all these stories about how he went around and asked people first. He's like, do you want to be in my show? It's fan servicey or whatever. And like he tells the story at cons all the time. And finally I was like, what the heck, man? You never asked me. You never asked me if I was okay in it. And he was like, you were in prison school. And I was like, well, fair. But I was like, what? You asked everybody else, but not me? You just assumed like Kristen will be in the booby show. And I mean, he's right. I would be. He's not wrong. But that's like my favorite thing. He's like, I asked all these people, and I asked Maddie, and I asked Alexis. I'm like, what the heck?
I don't remember if Cliff asked me first, but I do know that he did apologize.
Oh, really?
When he cast me. He was like, I want to put you in the show. I'll find a place for you. And then I booked hours for it, and I sat down in his studio, and he went, all right, so I found a place for you in the show. I'm sorry. And he's like, here's the character. Is that cool? And I'm like, I'm already here. I drove here. Let's do it.
You told this story this week on Jackbox.
I did. I told that story on our Jackbox stream on Tuesday.
You're saying that was Keijo that he apologized? Really?
Yeah. Which that show's not that bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard for me to see it as fan service when they are so serious that they are competing in a legitimate sport, and this is
It's a sports anime.
Have you watched it all the way to the end?
yes,
Okay, just checking.
yeah, 100%. Every crazy move that they came up with, every named.
Video acceleration activate.
See, like we're all cute. Like I was like, Rachel, you've got to watch this, and she was like, oh my gosh, are you?
I spent all 11 episodes not really doing anything weird, and then all of a sudden, episode 12 went to Okratron, which I'd never worked with before. I walked in. I have this session with a guy named Raleigh, who I've never met until this moment, and my character goes, all you need to win is some acupressure. And then she takes off her bra and starts rubbing her boobs and moaning. And then she says, "Tit spirit." And I did it. And I looked at Raleigh and I was like, "It's nice to meet you."
I love Raleigh.
Raleigh's amazing.
We worked together on Galactic Heroes, and he would just be like, "So Brittany, there's this movie called Star Wars."
What's that? I never heard of it.
And in Star Wars, there are these things called stormtroopers.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, ladies, thank you. We are already over, and I want to make sure that everybody has a break to get watered up and go to the bathroom before VIP. Just to let everybody know. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on the panel. I hope you have laughed as much as I have. It has been amazing to get to meet everybody. Madeline, thank you for joining us. What a real pleasure. It's clear that the internet has demanded your presence. So it's very cool to
Glad to be here.
bring
9
the
times Trivia Murder Champion, 9 times Trivia Murder Party Champion, Madeline Morris.
Listen, if I'd been there for Game of Thrones, I would have won.
Hey, no, because it was the very last question, and I was ahead of everybody else, and you have to answer all 3 right to advance, and I was in front of everybody, so you could have gotten all 3
I need
right.
to
and
get
would've
back
guessed it right,
on.
and then I would have won.
I need to get back on the Jackbox streams.
Oh, Grammy.
Kristen's like, I'm gonna have to get rid of some of this.
I love you, Maddie, but
Love you too.
I don't know a lot about Game of Thrones.
Come fight me with your big brain.
Okay, more hijinks to continue in VIP. As everybody knows that has been there before, you've noticed that I put comments from chat up on the screen, but I did not take any questions. That's because we want you to come into our VIP only, where it is all about you. I will shut up and we just answer question after question after question. That is the beauty and the glory of VIP. Anybody who grabs any item from any of our guests today qualifies for VIP. We have a team that will work furiously during the break to make sure everybody gets into the ColorworldLIVE VIP only Facebook group. We'll just double check, make sure that if your ticket is purchased in a pseudonym, if you're in a fan service anime and you have one name for Facebook and one name for buying your tickets, make sure that you tell us who you are so we can let you in. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us. I will see you in the VIP panel in 22 minutes. That'll be for everybody that needs to synchronize their watches. That'll be 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
You've got it, Mallory. You're doing a great job.
If you're in England, just add 6 hours, I think. And if you're in Australia, I think it's plus 13 hours. So for you, it's already Sunday. So thank you for everybody that's joining us on the next day in the future. And we will see everybody in VIP. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.